The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 15. Shout against her round about. She has given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Take vengeance upon her as she has done, do unto her. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. All praises to Yahweh, by Shem Shai, Wahara Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, Shalom, to the hopeful elect that's seeking to be the elect of the nation of Israel. The scattered abroad amongst the heathen, some looking like the heathen. Begin with 144,000 preachers, teachers, and prophets, Shalom. America's getting judged. It's falling, but it's going to fall. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be cut off. And when the stage of it is being broken down, all right, we are in the stage in prophecy where America, which is the place that's being used to govern the earth by where the Edomites, the so-called white people beginning with the elites, is being broken down. Cut off the, verse 16 again, cut off the sword from Babylon and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. That's the work, that's the jobs, the workers. Hey, there's no such thing as a job or a worker unless you got merchandise to sell. Alright? Alright? And America gets all their products from these other countries back east. Majority of the products from the countries back east. Now, oil reserves, you know, the oil, I'm sorry, a lot of oil. A lot of things come from back east. All right? So Iran, you know, we reported on it yesterday, but we got the video to back it up. Iran got it's an 8-minute 57 video, 8-minute and 57-second video going into how US-Israelee violated the ceasefire and how Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Alright? Now, I'm going to start at like the 2-minute and 4-second mark so you can hear the guy say what Trump said. How Iran, how the world was 4 weeks away from an economic collapse. But that was from the talking point of them signing the deal and everything was going according to their plan. But now that ceasefire, that deal is canceled because of the Israelis still bombing Lebanon. Now that the global market was 4 weeks away from being an economic collapse, well, it's safe to say that, hey, it's 4 weeks away from being an economic collapse, according to Esau's term. So look forward to things getting worse globally. Alright? But the primary focus is America, Babylon, the most proudest nation on the planet, the land of commerce, the land of buying and selling, the land that don't own nothing but borrowing and getting other nations to build things, and they send it over here to make money. See, they had these things made back east for cheap wages, slave labor, but it's come over here to America, and they make big money. So get ready for everything to fall very soon. I believe it's gonna be this year. Soon, I believe it's gonna be around the fall. It's really gonna summer. July, just me speaking as a man, the scripture don't say that. I believe July, August, man. I believe I believe America gonna really start to feel it, man. I believe they're really gonna start to feel it. But we know it's gonna happen at some point in time. It's gonna happen. It's prophecy. It's gonna happen. But I just believe it's gonna be around June or August, you know. July, August. I'm sorry, July, August. And once it starts, it ain't no coming back, man. All right, there ain't no coming back. Remember, they got to move quick. Things are in place for them to, for the system to break down and collapse, and them to bring forth this beast system, man. I'm gonna read verse 16 again straight. Cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone to his own land. Yeah, people dealing with their own people, man. And also, this is a time of war, so this ain't the time to be dealing with America. America, enemy number one. And we get Genesis 6, and it's also in Revelation. Those that found shall put their hands on her, cut her off. And eventually, all the nations just gonna, hey, they're gonna have to do away with Babylon, because Babylon gonna be destroyed when you get Revelation 18. All right. So you don't really got to worry about, goods coming from China, as far as the Strait of Hormuz is concerned, or nothing like that. But China, they go through the Pacific. For those flat earthers out there, they go through the Pacific. All right, Japan, they share the Pacific Ocean with Hawaii and California, which proves that the Earth is round. All right. I wasn't reading, but I ain't got to read it. But let's just play the video. Hey, one of my favorite scriptures. Let's get that real quick. We got this the other day. We're going to get it again. We're going to wear them out. We're going to wear them out, y'all. We're going to wear these scriptures out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Hey, second Edges, hey, we're going to go through it too. And we're going to lose a lot too. But hey, technically, we haven't lost nothing, man. We got this trip. We rich in faith, man, because this stuff ain't coming with us, man. This stuff is just here to, to occupy us a little bit of time. Have us, I don't want to say the word peace, because we don't know what peace is to the kingdom, man. So some type of inksy bit of enjoyment, Yahweh Shema Shah has allowed us to have, which, hey, we grateful for that. But soon all this stuff can be cut off, man. All right. And you get so we're gonna be in the annual rapture, 7-year bull crap. Them Christians talking about. Y'all say that they still hearing it. Ass ain't going nowhere. Second Edges 15. The only deliverance is gonna be the time when the Heavenly Father, the house in his only God son, Yahweh shall to deliver the elect of Israel from Babylon, man. The 1/3. It ain't gonna be no he coming to live the church and people got 7 years to get it right. It's gonna be so much turmoil, and then the Lord gonna come back again and deliver those who finally got right. Crazy. Second Edges 15:49. I will send plagues upon thee, poverty. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty. So a lot of men gonna die. Poverty, people losing out. And this is ending jobs too. Famine, hunger, sword. Hey, Esau gunning people down, and people gunning people down because of the lack of bread. All right, and hardships, and pestilence, diseases, and waste our houses with destruction and death. And that's gonna be the result, man. And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is sent over thee. The wrath of Yahweh Shema Shah. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes. And as, hey, meaning what? This place is constantly getting hit, man. Getting weaker and weaker. It's falling more and more. Eventually it's going to fall. It's going to be the end of Babylon once some nuclear missiles hit. And that's one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. All right, let's play this. I'm going to start it right here. I want you to hear this first. And then...
Now be careful with Hardy's new hot honey. You'll get lost in that made-from-scratch hot...
Our diplomatic editor, James Bays, and all...
See, the time of America being the bully of the block, the bully of the planet is cut off. I'm going to start it right here, then I'll go back and play the whole video. Iran's military says it has closed the Strait of Hormuz after US-Israelee violations of ceasefire. So, you know, people are not going to keep taking the Edomites' words, man. All right? And believing on it, hoping it'll be a deal. Because Iran, their economy getting hit too. But America getting hit the hardest.
4 weeks of global oil reserves, using that weapon now. And remember what Donald Trump said at the G7 meeting just days ago before he signed the Memorandum of Understanding. In a moment, I think, of some honesty, he said, we were on the verge of economic collapse. We only had 4 weeks of global oil reserves. Who wants bedlam? Those are the words of Donald Trump about...
You hear that? You see? So, hey, this joke will finish, man. The oil reserve is serious, man. You know, hey, the oil reserve controls everything. Hey, it's a major part of the supply chain. Without the oil, you know, diesel, which moves the products, gas, you know, finish. Hey, you know what? Also, with the oil, hey, it affects the flight of travel. The flight of travel, you know, airplanes. All right? When China got to send things over here, so to be quick, fast, and hurry, they use planes. So, hey, this affects everybody. Hey, the boats that go across the water, they use diesel fuel for them boats, man. For them cargo ships, excuse me. All right? If I'm not mistaken, they use diesel. So even if they use gas, it's still going to hit them in the pockets. But I believe they use diesel. But hey, so this place finished, man. This place finished, man. So hey, that just going to affect the global market, man, altogether. I know I said China ain't got to worry about it, but no, I take that back. All right, because this affects the global market, man. All right, this oil supply affects the global market. So hey, without oil, nothing is going to be moved. All right, it doesn't matter who allies with who, whatever. Everything is affected. So forgive me for what I said earlier. Slip up.
Our diplomatic editor, James Bays, and I'll preface this with saying that we've got some very new and important developments. James, it's going to be one of the very few times that I know something you don't yet know. Look, we're hearing from the Iranians, and I think to some extent we saw this coming. The Iranians say, and this is being reported by the Iranian news agency Mehr, that they're going to take action over what's happening in southern Lebanon. They see it, as you know, as the United States' responsibility to end Israeli military raids, and they say that because that hasn't happened, in response to that, Iran is going to close once again the Strait of Hormuz. So that's where we are. Let me look at the language. In view of America's blatant breach of promise and breach of contract regarding the failure to implement the very first paragraph of the Memorandum of Understanding. That's something you and I have talked about extensively. Back to this language from Mehr News. And in response to the ceaseless and continuous violation of the ceasefire by the Zionist regime in southern Lebanon and the merciless killing of hundreds of thousands of the oppressed people in this land, it is announced that the Strait of Hormuz will be closed to vessel traffic. So, James, I think we can't overstate how significant this is.
We can't. This is the ultimate leverage they have, and they proved it during the war. We'd all been talking about a potential nuclear weapon, but Iran showed it had a much more powerful economic weapon. We actually had reports over the last 24 hours that they might be doing this, and the Iranian government and spokesperson said it wasn't the case they were going to, but clearly they feel right now there is a memorandum of understanding. It has been agreed, but it's not being complied with. And you've got other dignitaries on the top of that hill. They feel this is a time of maximum leverage, and if they are going to close the Strait of Hormuz, it means they're using that weapon now. And remember what Donald Trump said at the G7 meeting just days ago before he signed the Memorandum of Understanding. In a moment, I think, of some honesty, he said, we were on the verge of economic collapse. We only had 4 weeks of global oil reserves. Who wants bedlam? Those are the words of Donald Trump about where the economic situation of the world is. Iran knows at this moment that it can push back and try and stop that fighting that's taking place in southern Lebanon, that bombardment by Israel. Can, though, the US stop the Israelis. They told the Israelis to stop. They've implemented another ceasefire, and it's not stopping. The Israeli military, I'm not going to use the word professional. They're professional at killing. We saw that in Gaza. But they are efficient. They have a chain of command. If Prime Minister Netanyahu said stop the bombardment, I have no doubt it would stop.
Noor O'Day, our correspondent in Ramallah, reported that the Prime Minister said he doesn't consider himself or his country bound by the terms of this memorandum of understanding. Adding to what I was saying, the source on this closure of the Strait of Hormuz, it is Iran's top joint military command. So it's reported by the Iranian news agency MER, but this is a decision made by the country's top military command. Something else that is just crossing as we speak. The U.S. Vice President, J.D. Vance, has told Fox that he believes talks between the U.S. and Iran could start as early as Sunday. So he thinks they could happen, and they could be happening. We are Saturday today, so they could be happening tomorrow. It seems the U.S. and Iran moving in at this hour in very different directions.
And also some reports coming from some media that maybe there are some Iranians there with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. That's a line that came from Fox News a short time ago. The Iranians saying they're not here. It's possible that there is some talks about talks taking place. But it's clear there is one issue alone. It's that bombardment in Lebanon that's already caused those loss of lives since the so-called ceasefire 24 hours ago. The Iranians making it very clear, you have got to stop this, got to stop the Israelis. Stop the Israelis in the one war, which is connected to getting the talks going in the other war, which of course is connected to the Straits of Hormuz and the whole of the world's economy.
Al Jazeera's diplomatic editor, James Space, thank you very much for your snap explanation.
You can't stop prophecy. The least of the flock shall draw them out, man. The Israelis is drawing America out to war. It's causing a global war, man. You know, this is the war that's going to end all wars. World War III, nuclear missiles. That's the lake of fire and brimstone. That's America being destroyed. Also, the land of America when you get Ezekiel the 38th chapter. So we witnessing the end playing out. We witnessing 2nd Ezra 15 start at 20th verse play out. All right, so things are gonna get a hell of a lot harder over here, globally, but most definitely over here in America, man, the land of merchants, man, buying and selling and trading. Ezekiel 15, Ezekiel 18, Ezekiel 15, and Revelation 18.
And analysis as these news lines are just coming into us here. We're reporting from central Switzerland, as James explained, because on the other side of that lake is where Iranians and Americans were expected to sit down for face-to-face talks to try and reach a final peace deal between them. But we are, as we speak, it feels like we are quite a distance away from that deal ever being hammered out. So going to Iran now, our correspondent Mohammed Val is there. Mohammed,
so prepare to lose everything. 2nd Ezra 16 started like the 40th verse. So hey, we got to be as pilgrims upon the earth, because when this stuff happens, hey, these people gonna ride. People losing out. Our hell gonna break loose. You talking about energy shortage, power going out, very little food, very little resources. AI data centers sucking up all the water. Fires, chaos, death, judgment, diseases, hospitals shut down, can't travel, a limited movement, curfew. That's prophecy. I'm sorry, I'm eating apple. That's prophecy, man. Some shit gonna pop like a goddamn hot air balloon. It's gonna come crashing down.
The last few moments, we're hearing from the Iranian top military command, that they've closed the Strait of Hormuz once again.
Well, that's right. I don't know if the translation is precise. If it is precise, they used the future tense, will be closed. So we don't know whether that's a decision that is going to take effect from this moment, or it's a threat, for instance, that if something doesn't happen in the next couple of hours, or tonight, for instance, or from now to tomorrow, we don't know what that future tense means, how long it will take for them to announce that now we have closed it. So there is is this pressure. It's a measure of pressure, of course, on the Americans to force the Israelis to implement the first article of the Memorandum of Understanding. There has been a lot of anger being expressed yesterday and today about it, and the Iranians are very clear. Now it is very clear that they are linking Lebanon to the moving ahead with the negotiations. Of course, some of the news agencies here, at least one of them, has said that maybe a delegation is going, headed by the top negotiator Mohammed Bakr Ghalibaf and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, but that has not been confirmed. Now we have this other line that you have just mentioned, making the situation much more complicated, and we don't know which of the two roads is going to be taken, whether for more complications or whether the Iranians will finally agree to go to the talks. We know that the Pakistani Interior Minister is here on a visit to Iran, and the understanding is that he is trying to facilitate the situation. He's trying to convince the Iranians probably to go to the talks. Pakistan has been behind the push for peace, the push for this deal, and they don't like it to break down. So that's the situation now, and it's just probably a matter of hours to know if the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is confirmed or whether something else in the other direction will take place.
Mohammed, I've been asking you today and yesterday, is there any sign from the Iranians that they are going to show up here in Switzerland and begin these talks with the Americans? Let me flip that question. Is there any reason to believe that Iran will show up?
Well, it's conditional now. It's clearly conditioned on the condition that the terms of the agreement will be met. They have made it very clear since yesterday that there are 5 points that have to be dealt with from the outset. One of them, and the first and the most important, clearly is the comprehensive ceasefire on all fronts, including South Lebanon. That point, which is the initial one, hasn't been implemented. And also they talked about the lifting of the American blockade. That's something that they're not showing some anger about, because the two sides, the Iranians and the Americans, are doing something in that regard. But also they mentioned sanctions, and they mentioned the unfreezing of assets, Iranian assets. Those 2 points are clearly raised here by Iran, and they want something to be done about them, a kind of announcement that the United States is starting to move on that situation, because they are included in the Memorandum of Understanding, and Iran thinks that it can't move ahead with the negotiations if the Americans haven't yet even initiated any implementation of any of those points, except on the Strait of Hormuz.
Play through the middle.
There you have it. There you have it. So prepare for the worst, man. So, hopefully, they stick to Iran stick to their guns and say the hell with American, and they don't keep falling for these deals. But hey, it's whatever the will of Yahweh Shema Shah is. But we know the will of Yahweh Shema Shah is that prophecy is going to play out. All right, sooner or later. All right, I believe that's it, man. So hey, let's see how things roll out. Cause hey, they got to roll out this beast system, this global beast system, this digital system, and bring forth this mark of the beast, and that's going to be globally. All right, let's see how these things play out, man. Stay pretty, Benazir. How about Shema Shah? Shalom.